into my frequency. You'll put on a smile. We gon' have a good time long as you're here with me.
You're listening to the Uncovered Podcast. It's a show full of conversations on relationships and marriage that will challenge our traditions, our beliefs, and our outcomes, ultimately leading us to a place of clarity, of thought, and restored hope. Thank you for joining us. My name is Will, and with me I got my boy, the one and only Eddie Rivera.
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
He said Dr. E, we like to call him around here. He's our marriage therapist and family counselor. And today we have a special guest. If you saw the last episode, he was with us. It's the one and only Pastor D.
Hey,
What's
God
up,
bless
Pastor
everybody.
D?
Hey, glad to be here, guys. Loving every minute of it.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
We're just having a good time. I mean, we were on, we ran out of time last episode. So
We sure did.
I asked you to please, can we continue this conversation? Because it was getting too good.
Okay.
And right at our peak point, there was something that was brought up. It was a versus. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, it was ego versus pride
Yes.
Wow.
in the context of a man. So I didn't want to open that up because we were out of time.
Yeah.
But we can go at it, man. We can go at it.
Give us a little recap of where we were. We were just talking about the overall identity. We spoke a lot about identity as well. We dipped into a lot of different places.
Yeah. Ultimately, what we were wanting to say is that it's important to realize that when you are being groomed as a child, as a young man, what's important is your influences, and to make sure that you have strong male model.
And we talked about having that model and not having it.
And not having it.
And the tale of two different stories
Which is
there.
a great
And outcomes. It was so deep, man. So let's continue that conversation, man. And that versus that we have, man, that would be a good place to start, to be honest, man.
Yeah, well, we mentioned that there is a difference between ego and pride. One is, well, let me read it to you as
I think we mentioned a word like, because we're Latinos, we're machismo.
we're very prideful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but you said there's a difference there.
There is a
man.
difference. So the key difference
Okay.
between ego and pride is that ego is a sense of self-importance, which can lead to arrogance.
Oh, so even ego
Yeah.
Okay.
got to be put in check.
Whereas pride is a sense of satisfaction. So that's the difference. The words ego and pride are so close in meaning and so interrelated that sometimes it becomes difficult to differentiate between them. And look at what Meridian says as well.
Interesting.
Pride. Check this out. You ready?
Go ahead.
Pride is a feeling. The ego is a program.
Wow.
Drop the bomb on that one.
Come on, Pastor D. Pride is a feeling. The ego is a program.
So I'm like proud of my son. That's not ego.
That's a feeling. No, that's a feeling.
It's a feeling.
But ego is a programmed. So you think about software, right? A program that you build is built with a purpose. It's built for a specific type of function. So if ego is a program, right? It's something that's programmed in me. What is the effectiveness of that program? What is the objective of that program? What is the purpose behind that program? That's what's coming to my mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to get a little deep, but you know what I'm saying?
We're starting early.
But
That's
I need
why.
you to go deep.
Yeah.
You know, because that's
there's
scary.
some key words there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Purpose.
Yes.
Purpose. So it's innate in you, and it's for a reason. And you say, what is the purpose of it? But the answer is purpose,
Yes.
being,
That's right.
your ability to be who you are.
That's right. Come on. My God.
Man, that's good.
Yeah. And you know, I start, you know, in my mind thinking, you know, the Bible said that God created us with a purpose. We are designed with a purpose. And when we think of purpose, means what is the reason, the whys and the reasons why I was created. And when that's defined, I'm not frustrated. And Miles Monroe said something that I'll never forget. He said, a man that does not live in purpose is a frustrated man, right? And then he says a frustrated man usually is an abusive man. So think about that. So when I know my purpose, when I understand the design of my life, and I'm able to function in that design, right? Which lays out everything that I'm supposed to be, everything that I am,
Yeah, man.
and how I'm supposed to function. And therefore, I'm no longer frustrated. Then instead of abusing, I build.
There's no frustration.
I
there.
create.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Vision comes into fruition because I know what the vision looks like, because I know how I'm designed.
And then when you bring her to
Oh man, that's a whole other beautiful story, brother.
then okay, let's not go there.
Because if you bring the woman in, right, is that what you mean?
Yeah, I'm
The
saying
wife?
you're doing, you understand your purpose. Now you bring her as a helpmate.
Absolutely. Well, think about this, because now you're throwing another thing in there that's
Yeah.
important, because we're speaking about purpose, right? You nailed it. So then God says it's not good for man to be alone. So it makes me think that man did not understand that he was alone, or he didn't care that he was alone.
He didn't know what alone.
Yeah. And yeah. So, but God Himself,
Well, you
or
said-
our Creator, decided that it's not good for us men to be alone. Now, mind you, we were already functioning in purpose.
Absolutely.
When He said that, we were living in purpose. So it's interesting that you're living in purpose, but it's still not good for you to be alone. So what does the woman brings into the life of a man who's already living in purpose?
Wow.
So go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
Cherry on top of the cake.
It's the cherry on top of the cake. So I think that's important,
Go
because
backwards on that thought process, because without that setup, or you knowing your purpose, then you bring this where the frustration even gets even more.
it gets frustration when if you're not living in that purpose. But if you're living already in your purpose, and then God brings the woman, then it brings more clarity to the purpose of humanity as a whole.
But if you're frustrated and you're not finding, and then you decide you want to get married, and you bring her on. Yeah, that's what I'm getting to.
There you go. That's such a good question, because I think that what happens then is you're a man, but you're not a mature man yet. And so now what's going to happen is you want the wife now to becomes the one to bring a sense of purpose into your life.
Yes.
When marriage does not define me.
Ooh. Well, if I could just get married. Oh, no, once I get married, that's what you hear, right?
No, brothers. Marriage reveals who you really are.
It sure does. It sure does.
Yeah. And even when
Yes,
you
sir.
get those guys that are, I know a few, they talk to me openly about they're dealing with porn and this and that. And they go, oh, don't worry. When I get married, eso se va a ir, it's going to leave. It'll be better. Like, that's the answer.
Yeah.
But you guys are saying it's deeper than that,
Yeah,
man.
because God was the one that when He created man, and He placed him in the Garden of Eden, and basically gave him the parameters and the principles and everything that man was designed to be and to do and to function in. And once He did that, man understood and already knew. And remember, Eddie said it in the last podcast that we were created in the image and likeness of God. So when we see God, we see ourselves in the sense of purpose and design, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
The only difference is that God said you're complete in purpose in a sense of a man, but you're not complete in family structure. You're not complete in taking over and having dominion over the earth, because to do that, you need somebody else.
And that somebody else has been redefined.
Yes.
And the redefinition of the family unit has been redefined. And that was weird what I just said. The redefinition of the family has been redefined.
It's been, it's funny. I understood you. That's weird.
Yeah,
It was
I
like,
understood you.
did.
No, it's not. You're right.
The purpose.
Yes, reshaped.
And the identity of the true family that was established has been redefined in today's culture.
Absolutely.
And so that has an immediate impact on the results
Absolutely.
of purpose.
Absolutely. And you know, I was thinking as you're saying that my identification will not be solidified by getting married.
Yes.
I already know who I am
Yes.
before I got married.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that's what's happening. I think because no one is teaching these young men who they really are, they try to find it sometimes even in marriage
yes.
and
So
relationships.
why is this important?
Why
like that.
is it
And
important?
I'm going to answer that.
Go
I
ahead,
like
my
that.
brother.
Why is this important?
Go ahead.
When you come into marriage with the surplus, right? Being able to be your unique self, confident, happy, fulfilled, right? You come to that relationship full, right? If I were to take this cap off of this, I'm holding a water bottle, and I take this cap off and I pour out 2/3 of it. And that represents how I'm coming to a relationship. And I marry someone that is half full, has a little bit more than I do, but is still demanding of me. So I have another water bottle in my hand, which is half full. I've got a third here, and I've got half full. And she demands that in her time of need, that I pour into her. I get to a point where I'm depleted
That's right.
because I can only give her what I have.
That's right.
And so it might top her off. It might meet her need, right? But it exhausts everything that I am and it depletes me. The object here is that they both come into marriage full.
Absolutely.
So as we need from each other, it's always going to be, I've got more than most. I've got more that I need to pour into you, and I'm never depleted. And when you pour into me, you're never depleted.
Exactly.
And we go through life making memories instead of having regrets and living in a state of depletion.
Man, okay.
Wow, that's so good, my brother.
Eddie,
Boom, my brother. Wow.
did you finish the thought process of pride versus ego? Because I want to keep us right there.
This
'cause
is
That's
all.
this could open up a whole nother
this is all
conversation.
related.
Well, that's the part of the programming.
Well, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go.
Go
ahead,
I
go
want to
ahead.
read this to you.
Go ahead.
Ego, which is the part that's a program, right? Develops in you to protect feelings of pride.
Look at that. Look at that. And it's interesting because, again, when you say that, what triggers in my brain is that when I'm serving, I'm not prideful.
When you're giving,
Which is giving.
Come on.
So for the natural audience,
exactly.
When
Yeah, there you go.
when
Yeah.
you live in a posture
my
of
God.
giving, right?
Yes.
You're never going to be depleted.
Exactly.
Never, because there is a principle.
Yeah.
Right? There is a principle. There is something established from the beginning,
Exactly.
right? Which is whether you believe it or not, it exists.
That's right. That's right.
All right?
That's right.
You sow, you reap. Right? Really basic. You sow, you reap.
Man.
And so as you give, you will always be replenished and you will never be depleted.
And it's like y'all
Wow.
collect an offering here or what? Because look, and I believe there in life there are givers and takers,
Absolutely.
and it's a
and users.
Go ahead, go ahead, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And I think, that giving posture is that of servitude. Is a language that people don't understand because they think that servitude it's a downgrade. When you don't realize that when you're giving, you're serving, you're upgrading.
Absolutely.
It's an upgrade, brother.
So
you know what I mean
pride-
by upgrade, right?
Yeah, go ahead,
Say
go
it.
ahead.
Say it.
So,
Say it.
Wait, so pride. Finish that thought because I'm trying to
Hinders.
wrap.
So pride hinders
There you go.
your ability to think outside of you.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so it's very hard and it becomes abnormal for you to be in a position emotionally and mentally to want to give.
Exactly. Because, and I think the danger in pride is that when you don't give and you take, you're never satisfied anyway.
Because
So you
there's
have to take
always
more because you're depleting.
there's always a depletion.
Yeah, my
Right.
gosh.
When I sit
That's
with
powerful.
the couples that do premarital counseling, and I even take them through the SYMBIS tests and the APS assessments, all of that stuff, right? One of the things that we touch on and we talk about is the importance of living a sacrificial life.
That's right.
And when I say that, you can see in their faces that they're either unsure what we're talking about or in their minds they're saying, whoa, wait a minute. What do I have to give up?
Exactly.
Because that word sacrificial it comes through that.
So what is it about a man? Are we wired a certain way that pride and ego, let's go with ego, gets in the way of first before marriage? We're young, we're ready to take over the world. What is it about that, man?
I feel that we are wired to be givers first.
Okay.
I really believe that. I think it's the opposite.
And it's
right?
not,
Do you agree?
yes, and I want to add to this.
Go ahead, my brother.
That's very
you know me,
good.
I'm going to throw some things in
That's
here.
very good.
Come on.
Not
some
only
meat.
are we wired, right, but we're created to give.
Exactly.
Everything that God created,
Gives.
everything in creation gives.
Exactly.
Name something that's created that takes.
Come on.
Come on.
So the clouds give rain.
Exactly.
The sun gives sunlight.
That's right.
The plant, all of that
Oxygen.
oxygen, right? Everything that's created in the natural was created to give
Exactly.
and to bless.
That's right. And you know what stops us from being givers?
Oh, here we go.
You know what's the real cause?
Come on.
It's dysfunction. Is when something happens that hurts me and it creates a dysfunctionality in me. And now I don't want to give because I'm broken, I'm hurt, and I'm in a payback mode. I'm in a revenge mode.
So I want to get mine.
I'm going to get mine now.
So-
I gave before and it didn't work out for me.
Did that
So now-
happen in heaven in the beginning?
Oh, well.
I'm sorry. I was just.
I mean, I don't want to get into no theological
Yeah, I know.
study
Yeah,
here.
I don't-
you know what
Okay,
I'm saying?
let's
I can
not.
go somewhere
But we
here.
can go there,
I can go
but
somewhere
yeah.
here, but we're gonna go
Okay.
way
That's
off.
such a great topic for future.
Yes.
But listen,
But you're
oh
on point
my
now, my
God.
brother.
Yeah.
You're on point.
Okay.
I want to say it.
Just
but I
say it,
don't
man,
wanna
and be
say
through
it.
this
Because
question,
of our
maybe the Lord-
platform, but the
Yeah.
thing is, we try to keep it, for everybody.
Balance.
But here's the thing: you guys
Wow,
go
that's
back
so
to the designer and the design
Yeah.
of something and how it's supposed to function. If you want to know about your Toyota, your
The
Camry,
manufacturer.
you
Yeah,
have to
the
go
original
back.
designer.
And the Toyota is different from the Ford and all the
Mazda
rest of
and
them,
all that other
Mazda.
stuff.
But in this case, when man was created, and we're talking about ego and how we were wired,
Yes.
we have to go back to our designer, our creator.
Absolutely, and everything I teach to married couples into the church, everything that God creates, he takes responsibility for. Whatever comes out of God, God is responsible for.
Yeah.
Well, who came out of women? Children. What came out of man?
Women.
So that's why I believe that we naturally, that is within our DNA,
Yes.
to naturally give and protect. But what stops that from happening is dysfunction or hurt, pain, experiences in life. And then if we don't go to the original designer to be replenished, because we talk about depletion, come on, replenished, then we'll find other ways to try to replenish ourselves. And apart from God, pride will try to produce that in us.
So I was saying a little earlier.
Right? Makes sense?
That a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of sense.
So I was saying earlier to that point about the sacrificial way of life. You have to give first to receive.
Absolutely.
So when we talk about couples, we like to talk about setting expectations, setting boundaries, setting every aspect of purpose, of destiny, of dreams, of future hopes, of talks of how this is going to evolve and what we envision it, right? But the foundation has to be, you matter more to me than I matter to me. So I'm going to sacrifice me for you. But you both have to have the same spirit about that concept. Because then the principle
That's right.
kicks in. And I will reap what I'm sowing in you. So as I sacrifice myself for you, it's a guarantee that you're going to do the same for me.
That's right.
And then it becomes replenish, replenish, replenish,
Absolutely.
replenish, replenish, replenish.
Absolutely.
And in turn, it becomes a beautiful dance and exchange,
Yes.
which complements each other in marriage. And then now there is no competition.
For right now, you can reach us at team@uncoveredpodcast.org. Again, that's team@uncoveredpodcast.org. Remember, the only way to live is uncovered in marriage and relationships. God bless you, and thank you for listening.
Feeling, baby, no cap. And you stay in the kitchen looking like a snack. But on the real, my life is bliss. And you my spicy uno, I put down that 6. All hands on deck, girl, you know I'm in. I'm gonna ride till I die, cause you know we gon' always be feeling good, just like we should, baby.